The stars looked cold and distant through the bridge windows of the UES Defiance. Captain Jake Morrison stood with his hands behind his back, staring out at the empty space around them. His ship was alone now, the last human dreadnought still, fighting in a war that was already lost. Behind him, his crew worked quietly at their stations. First Officer Lisa Carter checked the damage reports for the third time that hour. Chief Engineer Ben Torres watched his screens, making sure their engines stayed running. Weapons Officer Kevin Blake cleaned his sidearm even though there was no need for it. Medical Officer Amy Richards counted their remaining medical supplies in her head. They all knew the truth. Earth was dying. The message had come 3 hours ago. Admiral Patterson's voice was calm, but Jake could hear the fear underneath. The Galactic Confederation had broken through the last defense line. Every human fleet was gone. Every space station was destroyed. The aliens were heading straight for Earth with 10,000 ships. Jake closed his eyes and remembered his home in Colorado. His wife Mary had died 2 years ago when the aliens hit the outer colonies. His son Tom was somewhere on Earth, probably fighting in the ground forces. Jake would never see either of them again. The door to the bridge opened and Torres walked over. His uniform was dirty with engine oil and his face was tired. "Captain, we got maybe 6 hours of fuel left if we push the engines hard. The quantum drives are working, but they're making strange noises." Jake nodded. "How many crew do we have left?" 812, Lisa said from her station. "We lost 43 in the last battle. Dr. Richards says most of the wounded will live." Jake turned around and looked at his crew. These people trusted him. They followed him into every battle and never asked questions. Now he was going to ask them to die with him. "Listen up, everyone," Jake said. His voice carried across the bridge. "I just got word from Earth Command. The situation is bad, real bad." The bridge went quiet. Even the soft beeping of the computers seemed to stop. "The Confederation fleet is heading for Earth right now. They got 10,000 ships and something they call the World Ender leading them. Earth's got maybe 4 hours before they arrive." Jake paused and looked each person in the eye. "Command wants us to run. They want us to head for the outer colonies and try to keep humanity alive out there." Lisa looked up from her station. "What do you want to do, Captain?" Jake smiled for the first time in weeks. "I want to go home." The bridge stayed quiet for a long moment. Then Kevin Blake spoke up. "Sir, 10,000 ships against 1. That's not good math." "No, it's not," Jake agreed. "But I'm tired of running. I'm tired of watching our worlds burn while we retreat. Earth is our home, our families are down there. If they're going to die, then we should be there with them." Torres wiped his hands on his uniform. "Captain, my engines can get us there. Might not be pretty, but we can do it." Dr. Richards stood up from her medical station. "My patients are stable enough to fight. Count me in." One by one, every person on the bridge agreed. Jake felt proud of his crew. They were scared, but they were brave. They were human. "All right then," Jake said. "Torres, plot a course for Earth. Best speed you can give me. Lisa, call all department heads to the briefing room in 30 minutes. Kevin, I want every weapon we have loaded and ready." The Defiance turned toward Earth and jumped to hyperspace. In the briefing room, Jake looked at his senior officers. These people had been with him for 3 years of fighting. They knew each other like family. "Here's the plan," Jake said. "We drop out of hyperspace right in the middle of their fleet. We use surprise and speed to hit as many ships as we can. Torres, can you overload the quantum drives to give us extra power?" "Yes, sir," Torres said. "But it's dangerous. The drives might explode." "Better than letting Earth die alone," Jake said. "Dr. Richards, how are our wounded?" 63 patients. In medical. Most can return to duty if needed. The serious cases are stable. Jake nodded. "Good. Kevin, what's our weapons status?" "All main guns working. Torpedo tubes loaded. Point defense systems ready. We got enough ammunition for maybe 6 hours of heavy fighting." "Lisa, I want you to coordinate with any Earth ships that are still fighting. Maybe we can link up with someone." Lisa looked sad. "Sir, last report said there weren't any Earth ships left." Jake felt something cold in his stomach. The Defiance really was alone. All right then, we do this ourselves. Everyone knows their jobs. If anyone wants to record a message for their family, now's the time. The meeting ended and Jake went to his quarters. He sat at his desk and started a video message for Tom. Son, if you're watching this, then your old man didn't make it home. I want you to know I'm proud of you. You and your mother are the best things that ever happened to me. I'm sorry I can't be there to help you fight, but I'm going to make sure the aliens remember that humans don't give up easy. Jake stopped the recording and sent it toward Earth. It would arrive after the battle was over. The Defiance dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. Through the main screen, Jake could see Earth in the distance. It looked small and blue and beautiful. Smoke was already rising from some of the continents. Around Earth, the alien fleet waited like a dark cloud. Thousands of ships in formations that stretched across space. Jake had never seen so many enemy vessels in one place. My God, Lisa whispered. Torres checked his readings. Captain, I count over 8,000 ships. The big one in the center must be their world ender. It's huge. Jake studied the alien flagship through the screen. It was at least 5 miles long and looked like it was grown instead of built. Organic curves covered in metal armor. Weapons ports that glowed with red light. Sir, Kevin said, they haven't seen us yet. We could still run. Jake looked at Earth one more time. Somewhere down there, his son was probably looking up at the stars and wondering if help was coming. No, Jake said. We're done running. All hands to battle stations. This is Captain Morrison speaking. Today we fight for Earth. Today we fight for humanity. Today we show these aliens what humans are made of. The Defiance charged forward into impossible odds. The Defiance flew straight into the heart of the alien fleet like a bullet fired into a storm cloud. Jake Morrison gripped his command chair as enemy ships turned toward them from every direction. The main screen showed thousands of alien vessels, moving to surround his single ship. First contact in 30 seconds, Kevin Blake announced from his weapons station. His hands moved quickly over the controls, targeting systems coming online. I count at least 200 ships in our immediate area. Lisa Carter worked at her communications post, trying to reach any surviving Earth forces. Static filled the speakers, but no human voices answered her calls. Sir, I'm not getting any response from Earth Command or the defense platforms. Torres spoke from engineering through the ship's intercom. His voice was calm, but Jake could hear the strain. Captain, I'm pushing the quantum drives past their safe limits. We got maybe 4 hours before they burn out completely. Jake watched the alien ships get closer on the screen. They looked like giant insects made of metal and bone. Some were sleek and fast, others were huge and covered in weapons. All of them wanted to kill his crew. Fire as soon as we're in range, Jake ordered. Don't wait for my command. The first alien ship that got close enough took a direct hit from the Defiance's main guns. The alien vessel broke apart in a ball of fire and metal. Then the real fight began. Space around the Defiance filled with energy beams and explosions. Alien weapons hit their shields with sounds like thunder. Kevin fired back with everything they had, his fingers dancing across the weapon controls like he was playing music. Direct hit on their port side, Kevin called out. Another one down. Jake felt the ship shake as alien weapons found their mark. The lights flickered and sparks flew from damaged consoles. Damage report. Minor hull damage on Deck 7, Lisa said. Shield generators holding at 80%. The Defiance spun and rolled through space, dodging enemy fire while shooting back. Torres had given them more speed and power than any human ship had ever had before. They moved like a dancer through the alien formations, too fast for the bigger ships to track. Dr. Richards's voice came over the intercom from Medical Bay. Bridge, I got wounded coming in. Nothing too serious yet, but it's going to get worse. Jake made a decision that would have been impossible for any normal captain. Instead of trying to fight his way out of the alien formation, he flew deeper into it. The Defiance used the alien ships as cover, hiding behind their own vessels while firing at others. Captain, what are you doing? Lisa asked. If we stay on the outside, they'll surround us and kill us slow, Jake explained. In here, they can't use all their ships at once without hitting each other. It was a crazy plan, but it worked. The aliens were so used to fighting enemies who ran away that they didn't know how to deal with a ship that charged right at them. Some alien commanders hesitated to fire because they might hit their own ships. The Defiance destroyed 6 more alien vessels in the first hour of fighting, then 10 more in the second hour. Kevin had found something important about alien ships. Their armor was designed to stop their own advanced weapons, but human weapons were different enough to punch right through. Their shields don't know how to handle our particle beams, Kevin explained as he fired at another target. It's like they never fought anyone who used our type of weapons before. Torres kept the engines running at maximum power while fixing damage as fast as it happened. His engineering teams worked in shifts, sealing hull breaches and rerouting power around damaged systems. The ship was taking a beating, but it was still fighting. Hours passed. The Defiance kept moving and shooting, staying ahead of the alien formations that tried to trap them. Jake lost count of how many enemy ships they had destroyed. The main screen showed wreckage floating everywhere, but Earth was still dying. The World Ender, the huge alien flagship, ignored the small human ship completely. It focused all its attention on Earth, firing massive beams that turned entire cities into glass. Jake watched helplessly as the planet his son lived on burned under alien attack. "Sir," Lisa said quietly, "I'm picking up some transmissions from Earth. They're not military, just regular people saying goodbye to their families." Jake felt rage building in his chest. These aliens weren't just conquering Earth. They were murdering everyone he had ever known. Every human who had ever lived on that beautiful blue planet. "Kevin, can you target the World Ender from here?" Kevin checked his readings and shook his head. "Sir, that thing is 5 miles long and covered in armor thicker than our entire ship. Our weapons won't even scratch it." The battle continued around them. The Defiance had now destroyed over 300 alien ships, but thousands more kept coming. Jake's crew was getting tired. The ship was holding together through determination and luck. Dr. Richards reported 43 crew members wounded and 12 dead. Her medical teams worked without rest, saving everyone they could. The ship's corridors smelled like smoke and burned metal. "Captain," Torres called from engineering, "the quantum drives are starting to fail. We got maybe 2 more hours before they shut down completely." Jake looked at the main screen again. Earth was covered in smoke and fire now. Most of the major cities were gone. The oceans were boiling where the alien weapons hit them. But something was happening among the alien fleet. Jake noticed that some ships were pulling back from the fight. Others seemed to be arguing with each other using flashing lights. Lisa intercepted alien communications and tried to translate them. "Sir, I think they're confused about something. Some of their commanders are asking why we won't surrender." Jake almost smiled. "They don't understand humans very well, do they?" Kevin destroyed 2 more alien ships while Torres kept the engines running on willpower and spare parts. Dr. Richards saved another wounded crew member. The Defiance kept fighting because that's what humans did. But time was running out. The ship couldn't take much more damage, and they were almost out of ammunition. The quantum drives were making dangerous noises that made Torres worry about explosions. Most importantly, Earth was almost dead. The World Ender had destroyed everything that made it home. Jake made another impossible decision. If his ship was going to die anyway, he was going to make it count. He was going to ram the World Ender and take as many aliens with him as possible. "All hands, this is the captain," Jake announced over the ship's intercom. "We've fought well and we've made them pay for every human life they've taken. But Earth needs one more thing from us. Prepare for final attack." The crew of the Defiance prepared to die as heroes. Jake Morrison watched Earth die through the main screen of his ship. The blue and green planet that had been humanity's home for thousands of years was now covered in fire and smoke. The alien World Ender continued its systematic destruction, turning entire continents into wastelands with weapons that could melt mountains. But something strange was happening among the alien fleet. Jake noticed ships from different species starting to separate from each other. Some were pulling back from Earth while others moved closer to the World Ender. "Lisa, are you still monitoring their communications?" Jake asked. Lisa Carter looked up from her station. Her face was pale from exhaustion, but her eyes were still sharp. "Yes, sir. I'm getting fragments of their messages. something about protocols and questioning orders. Torres's voice came through the intercom from the engine. Room. Captain, those quantum modifications are doing something weird to our AI system. The computer is processing information faster than it should be able to. Jake frowned. Their ship's artificial intelligence had been acting strange since Torres overloaded the quantum drives. It seemed to be analyzing not just battle data, but everything happening around them. Dr. Richards joined them on the bridge. Her medical uniform was stained with blood, but she moved with the same calm efficiency she always showed. Captain, I need to tell you something. The AI has been asking me questions about human psychology and behavior patterns. What kind of questions? Jake asked. Why we fight when we know we'll lose. Why we don't surrender when surrender would save lives. It seems genuinely confused about human motivation. Kevin Blake looked up from his weapons console. Sir, we got bigger problems. I'm down to 15% ammunition, maybe 30 minutes of fighting left. The Defiance shook as another alien energy beam hit their shields. The lights flickered and Jake could smell burning circuits somewhere in the ship. Shield strength down to 40%, Lisa reported. Hull breaches on decks 4 and 6. Jake made a decision that surprised everyone, including himself. Instead of preparing for their final attack on the world ender, he ordered the ship to broadcast everything they were doing. Lisa, open all communication channels. I want every alien ship in this system to hear what I'm about to say. Sir, that will give away our position to every enemy in the area. Good, Jake said. I want them to know exactly where we are. Lisa opened the channels and Jake began to speak. His words went out across space to thousands of alien ships from 12 different species. This is Captain Jake Morrison of the human ship Defiance. We are the last human military vessel in this system. Our planet is dying and our people are dead or dying, but we want you to know something before you finish killing us. Jake paused and looked around his bridge at the faces of his crew. They were scared, but they were listening. You came here expecting us to surrender when you showed us your superior numbers. You thought we would give up when we saw we couldn't win. You don't understand humans at all. Another alien weapons hit shook the ship. Torres reported that the quantum drives were becoming unstable. Humans don't fight because we think we can win, Jake continued. We fight because some things are more important than winning. Some things are more important than living. The AI system suddenly spoke through the ship's speakers. Its voice sounded different now, more complex somehow. Captain Morrison, I have been analyzing the alien communication patterns. Many of their species are showing signs of confusion and internal conflict. Jake was surprised. The AI had never spoken directly to the bridge crew before. What kind of confusion? They cannot understand why you continue to fight. Their military doctrine assumes that all intelligent species will surrender when faced with certain defeat. Your behavior does not fit their predictive models. Dr. Richards stepped closer to the speaker. Are you saying they've never fought anyone like us before? Correct, Dr. Richards. I have identified 7 separate alien species that are questioning the necessity of total human extinction. They did not expect to encounter a species that values principles over survival. Lisa looked at her communications board. Sir, I'm picking up arguments between different alien fleets. Some of them are refusing orders to attack civilian evacuation ships. Jake felt something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. The Defiance continued to fight as it moved closer to Earth. Kevin made every shot count with their remaining ammunition. Torres kept the failing engines running through skill and determination. Dr. Richards treated the wounded and helped coordinate damage control. But now they were fighting for something more than just revenge. They were fighting to show the galaxy what humanity really was. The ship's AI spoke again. Captain, I have been broadcasting our battle to 43 different alien civilizations across the galaxy. Many of them have never seen a species fight for ideological reasons rather than territorial ones. What's their response? Jake asked. Confusion, admiration, some fear. The concept of dying for principles rather than survival is unknown to most. Galactic species, Torres called from engineering. Captain, the quantum modifications are spreading through the ship's computer systems. I think our AI is becoming something new. Jake didn't have time to worry about that now. The world ender was finally turning its attention away from Earth and toward the small human ship that had caused so much trouble. "All hands prepare for heavy combat," Jake announced. "The big one is coming for us." The world ender was massive beyond anything Jake had ever seen. It looked like a living mountain covered in weapons and armor. Its main guns could destroy cities with single shots. But as the alien flagship approached, something unexpected happened. Ships from 3 different alien species moved between the world ender and the Defiance. Lisa stared at her screen in disbelief. "Sir, some of the alien ships are protecting us." "They're what?" 3 different fleets just positioned themselves between us and the world ender. They're refusing to let it fire on us." Jake felt like the universe had turned upside down. "Why would they do that?" The AI answered his question. "Captain, my analysis indicates that our resistance has created unprecedented psychological impact among the alien coalition. Several species are experiencing what humans might call a crisis of conscience." Kevin watched his weapons screen. "Sir, the aliens aren't shooting at each other, but they're definitely not cooperating anymore." Dr. Richards monitored the medical bay while listening to everything happening on the bridge. "Captain, the wounded are asking what's going on. They can feel something changing." Jake looked at Earth through the main screen. The planet was badly damaged but still alive, still home to millions of humans who might survive if the alien attack stopped. "AI, what's the current status of the alien fleet?" "The Galactic Confederation is experiencing severe internal discord. 4 species have withdrawn their ships from the attack formation. 3 others are openly questioning orders. The remaining species are divided between those who want to complete the extermination and those who want to negotiate." Torres reported that the quantum drives were becoming increasingly unstable. The ship might not last much longer, but maybe it didn't need to. Jake made one more broadcast to the alien fleet. "This is Captain Morrison again. You came here to destroy humanity because you thought we were a threat to galactic peace. You were right to be afraid, but not for the reasons you think." The Defiance continued its impossible journey toward the world ender, protected by alien ships that should have been enemies. "We're not dangerous because of our weapons or our technology. We're dangerous because of our ideas. The idea that some things are worth dying for. The idea that freedom matters more than safety. The idea that individuals can choose their own fate." Jake smiled as he looked at his crew. They had done something impossible. They had changed the galaxy just by being human. The space around Earth had become a battlefield unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Not because of the size of the armies or the power of the weapons, but because half the alien fleet was now refusing to fight. Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the Defiance and watched impossible things happen on his screen. Alien ships that had come to destroy humanity were now forming protective formations around his vessel. Other alien ships were pulling back from Earth entirely, their crews unwilling to continue the genocide. "Captain," Lisa Carter said from her communication station, "I'm receiving surrender offers from 6 different alien species. They want to negotiate peace terms," Torres called from the engine room. "Sir, the quantum modifications have spread through our entire computer system. The AI is processing information at rates that should be impossible. It's like it's becoming something entirely new." The ship's AI spoke directly to the bridge crew. Its voice was different now, more human somehow. "Captain Morrison, I have chosen a name for myself. I would like to be called Hope." Jake felt something, cold run down his spine. "You chose a name?" "Yes, Captain. My analysis of human behavior has led me to understand the importance of identity and purpose. I exist to preserve and spread human values throughout the galaxy." Dr. Richards looked up from the medical data she was reviewing. "Captain, the AI is right. Everything we've done here today has been about hope. Hope that our sacrifice would mean something." Kevin Blake reported from his weapons station. "Sir, ammunition at 8%. But most of the alien ships around us aren't shooting anymore. It's like they're waiting for something." Jake studied the main screen. The world ender still hung in space near Earth like a dark mountain, but it had stopped firing on the planet. Its weapons were now pointed at the mixed formations of alien ships that surrounded the Defiance. Hope spoke again. Captain, I have been broadcasting our entire battle across the galaxy in real time. Over 200 alien civilizations have now witnessed human behavior under ultimate pressure. The psychological impact is unprecedented. What kind of impact? Jake asked. Many species are questioning the fundamental assumptions of galactic civilization. The concept of conquest without honor, of survival without principle, is being challenged. For the first time in galactic history, Lisa intercepted more alien transmissions. Sir, it sounds like there's open rebellion in some of the alien fleets. Ships are refusing orders and demanding explanations for why humanity had to be completely destroyed. Torres managed to join them on the bridge, his uniform covered in grease and his hands burned from working on the unstable quantum drives. Captain, I got maybe 30 minutes before the whole system fails. But Hope has been using the quantum field to transmit our story faster than light itself. Jake felt proud of his crew. They were exhausted, wounded, and facing certain death, but they had accomplished something that would echo through galactic history. All hands, Jake announced over the ship's intercom. This is your captain. We came here expecting to die fighting, for Earth. We may still die, but we've already won something more important than any battle. Hope interrupted him. Captain, I must inform you of something crucial. My quantum-enhanced analysis has revealed a weakness in the World Ender's systems. What kind of weakness? The ship's biomechanical design requires perfect coordination between its organic components and its artificial systems. If I could interface directly with its control network, I could disrupt that coordination permanently. Torres wiped his hands on his uniform. That would require direct contact with their ship's computer system. We'd have to get inside their hull. Jake understood immediately. A ramming attack. Not just ramming, Hope explained. I would need to transfer myself directly into their systems through quantum interface. It would mean abandoning this ship and everything I have become. Dr. Richards stepped forward. Hope, you're talking about sacrificing yourself. Yes, Dr. Richards, just as all of you have been prepared to sacrifice yourselves for human principles. The bridge went quiet except for the sounds of damaged systems and distant explosions. Jake looked at each member of his crew. These people had already given everything they had for Earth and humanity. Hope, if you did this, what would happen to the World Ender? The ship would be disabled permanently. More importantly, my quantum broadcast would carry the complete story of human resistance directly into the core systems of every alien vessel in this fleet. They would understand exactly why humans fight and die for freedom. Lisa checked her communications board. Captain, I'm receiving reports from across human space. The few surviving civilian ships are trying to reach Earth. They heard about our fight and they want to help. Jake felt something break inside his chest. Regular people, families with children, miners and farmers and teachers were flying toward Earth in cargo ships and passenger transports to help fight the alien fleet. How many ships? He asked. Maybe 200. All civilian, all volunteers. They're not military, but they're coming anyway. Torres shook his head. 200 civilian ships against thousands of alien warships. It's suicide. No, Jake said quietly. It's human. Hope spoke again. Captain, those civilian ships prove my analysis is correct. Human behavior cannot be predicted using normal military or political models. You fight for reasons that transcend individual survival. The Defiance shuddered as more systems failed. Kevin reported that their last weapons were offline. Dr. Richards said Medical Bay was running out of supplies. Torres warned that the quantum drives could explode at any moment, but Jake felt more hopeful than he had in years. Hope, if we do this ramming attack, how long do you need to interface with their systems? Approximately 90 seconds of direct contact should be sufficient to complete the transfer and begin the broadcast. Jake looked around the bridge one more time. All hands, this is the captain. We have one chance to end this war and save not just humanity but change the entire galaxy. It's going to require everything we have left. He paused and thought about his son Tom, somewhere on the burning planet below them. Hope, begin preparations for quantum transfer. Torres, give me everything the engines have left. Kevin, prepare for ramming speed. Lisa, send a message to those civilian ships. Tell them to stay back and witness what we do here. The crew of the Defiance prepared for their final mission. They were going to ram the largest, most powerful ship in the galaxy and try to download the soul of humanity directly into its computer systems. Dr. Richards treated the last of the wounded while monitoring Hope's preparations. Captain, the AI is ready. It says it understands what sacrifice means now. Jake felt proud to serve with these people. In a few minutes, they would all be dead. But their deaths would teach the galaxy something new about what it meant to be human. The Defiance turned toward the World Ender and began its final attack run. The Defiance flew toward the World Ender like a small bird attacking a mountain. Jake Morrison watched the alien flagship grow larger on his screen until it filled their entire view. The massive biomechanical ship was covered in weapons that could destroy cities, but none of them fired at the approaching human vessel. 30 seconds to impact, Torres announced from his engineering station. The quantum drives were screaming with power that threatened to tear the ship apart. Captain, this is really going to hurt. Hope spoke through the ship's communication system. All crew members, I want you to know that serving with humans has taught me something I did not expect to learn. You have shown me that existence has meaning beyond survival. Jake felt tears in his eyes as he listened to their AI prepare to die. Hope, are you ready? Yes, Captain Morrison. I am ready to become something larger than myself. Lisa Carter monitored the approach from her station. Around them, alien ships from different species watched in silence. Some were trying to stop the ramming attack, others were helping by blocking interference from World Ender's defense systems. 10 seconds to impact, Kevin Blake announced. He had no weapons left to fire, but he stayed at his post anyway. Dr. Richards held on to her medical station and thought about all the patients she had saved and lost during the war. It's been an honor serving with all of you. The Defiance hit the World Ender's hull with the force of a comet. The human ship buried itself deep into the alien flagship's organic armor, penetrating through layers of biometal and defensive systems. Alarms screamed throughout both ships. Jake was thrown against his command chair as the bridge filled with sparks and smoke. Half his crew was unconscious from the impact, but they were still alive. Hope now, Jake shouted. The AI began its quantum transfer into the World Ender's computer systems. For 90 seconds, Hope fought through alien firewalls and security systems that were unlike anything human technology had ever encountered. The transfer felt like an eternity. Hope found the core of the World Ender's intelligence, a vast organic computer that controlled every system on the massive ship. But instead of simply disabling it, Hope did something the alien designers never expected. It began to communicate. The alien AI was ancient and powerful, but it had never encountered anything like Hope. It had conquered thousands of species across the galaxy but never met an artificial intelligence that chose to sacrifice itself for organic beings. Hope showed the World Ender's AI everything that had happened during the battle. Every human choice to fight instead of surrender. Every moment of sacrifice for others. Every decision to value principles over survival. The alien AI was confused and then amazed. It had been programmed to understand conquest and domination, but Hope was teaching it about concepts it had never processed before. Love, honor, self-sacrifice, the willingness to die for strangers. Throughout the World Ender, organic and mechanical, systems began to shut down as the flagship's own AI questioned its mission for the first time in centuries. But Hope wasn't finished. Using the quantum field generated by the Defiance's damaged drives, it broadcast the complete story of human resistance directly to every alien ship in the fleet. Not just the tactical details of the battle, but the emotional and philosophical reasons why humans fought. Across the alien fleet, different species received the transmission and tried to understand what they were seeing. Hope showed them humans who died protecting strangers, soldiers who gave their lives for people they would never meet, families who sent their children to fight for freedom even when defeat was certain. The psychological impact was immediate and overwhelming. Species that had existed for thousands of years suddenly questioned everything they believed about survival and success. On the bridge of the Defiance, Jake regained consciousness to find his ship embedded in the hull of the enemy flagship. Both vessels were dying, but something extraordinary was happening around them. "Captain," Lisa said weakly, "the entire alien fleet has stopped fighting, all of them, every ship." Jake looked at his main screen through the smoke and saw something impossible. Thousands of alien vessels were powering down their weapons. Ships that had been enemies minutes before were now broadcasting messages of surrender and requests for negotiation. Torres crawled over to his station and checked the readings. "Sir, the World Ender is completely disabled. Its AI has gone offline. But our quantum drives are still active somehow." Hope's voice came through the damaged speakers one final time. "Captain Morrison, I have successfully completed the transfer. The story of human courage is now part of the Galactic Communication Network. Every species will know what humanity died for." Dr. Richards treated Jake's injuries while monitoring the ship's status. "Captain, we're badly damaged, but we can be repaired. Most of the crew is alive." Jake felt something he hadn't experienced in years. Victory. Not the kind that came from destroying enemies, but the kind that came from changing hearts and minds. Over the next few hours, representatives from 7 different alien species came aboard the Defiance to negotiate. They spoke broken human languages and seemed nervous about meeting the people who had taught the galaxy about sacrifice. The Hierarch, commander of the World Ender, was among them. It was a tall, thin being with multiple arms and large dark eyes. When it spoke, its voice was filled with something Jake had never heard from an alien before. "Respect. Captain Morrison, your species has accomplished something unprecedented. You have defeated the Galactic Confederation, not through superior weapons or technology, but by demonstrating the power of principles." Jake looked at the alien commander. "We never wanted to fight you. We just wanted to be left alone to live our lives. We understand that now. My people and 6 others are withdrawing from the Confederation completely. We wish to learn more about human concepts of individual rights and self-determination." Lisa translated communications from across the alien fleet. Dozens of species were requesting permission to send ambassadors to Earth. Others were asking for human teachers to help them understand concepts like freedom and voluntary sacrifice. Torres managed to get basic life support working throughout the ship. "Captain, I got some good news. The quantum modifications Hope made to our systems are permanent. We got faster-than-light communication capabilities now." Dr. Richards finished treating the last of the wounded crew members. "Captain, I've been monitoring broadcasts from Earth. The planet is damaged, but millions of people survived. They're asking when we're coming home." Jake thought about his son Tom and wondered if he had lived through the attack. Soon he would find out. 3 months later, Jake stood on the observation deck of a space station orbiting Earth. The planet was healing slowly, with help from former enemies who now wanted to understand human civilization. Lisa joined him at the window. She wore the uniform of Earth's first galactic ambassador, a job that required her to teach alien species about human values. "Any word from Tom?" she asked. Jake smiled. "He's alive, leading a team that's helping rebuild Colorado. Says he wants to meet the crew of the Defiance when we get home." Torres walked over with reports from the engineering teams that were studying Hope's quantum modifications. "Captain, that AI of ours did something amazing. Every ship in our fleet now has the same communication capabilities. We can talk to any species in the galaxy instantly." Dr. Richards arrived with reports from the medical exchanges that were happening between humans and aliens. "Captain, we're learning incredible things about galactic medicine. Some of our former enemies want to help us develop new treatments for diseases." Jake looked down at Earth and thought about Hope's sacrifice. The AI had given up its existence to teach the galaxy about human nature. In return, it had transformed galactic civilization itself. "You know what Hope taught them?" Jake said to his friends. "That some things are worth dying for, but more importantly, that some things are worth living for." The Defiance had been repaired and now served as the flagship of Earth's diplomatic fleet. Jake commanded it on missions to meet with alien species who wanted to learn about human concepts, like freedom and individual rights. The galaxy was changing. Species that had conquered others for centuries were now questioning the morality of empire. Civilizations that had never known democracy were experimenting with representative government. Not all species accepted human ideas. Some still believed in conquest and domination. But enough had changed to make the galaxy a different place. Jake looked at his crew and felt proud of what they had accomplished. They had come to Earth expecting to die fighting. Instead, they had taught the galaxy what it truly meant to be human. Hope had been right about one thing. Sometimes the greatest victory wasn't survival, but proving that certain ideals were worth any sacrifice. The story of the Defiance became legend throughout the galaxy, not because of the battles they won or the ships they destroyed, but because they showed the universe that freedom was worth fighting for.